'Twas the night before Nebraska fall practice, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse, or something along those lines. But man, an exciting time to be a Husker fan. The season is almost here, and with that, fall camp getting ready to go tomorrow on Wednesday. So in today's video, I'm going to give you a preview of Nebraska fall practice. We're going to go over everything that Matt Rhule said today throughout his press conference. Then I'm going to give you an update around Michael Terry's visit today, along with the David Sanders situation and so much more. So before we jump into all of this, make sure to subscribe if you are new here to the channel. I post a video about Nebraska football every single day. I want to say we're 70 subscribers away from 5,000. Hopefully we can hit that this week. So again, if you're a diehard fan of this program, please subscribe and join the best family on YouTube. And hey, if you're not new here, you know what to do. Hit that like button. But let's just start things off talking about Matt Rhule in his press conference today. So he dropped a couple gems that really were newsworthy. Let's just start off with the injury report. So some of the guys we already knew, of course, Bly Hill, Maurice Mazuka not going to be ready to start off fall camp, but he dropped one name that was surprising to many. Tristan Alvano, the starting kicker for Nebraska, will not be ready to start off fall practice, that he has a groin injury and is limited. This is a significant development for the Huskers because although I projected Tristan Alvano to be our starter once again this fall, there was absolutely going to be a kicker bottle, and now that he's not ready to go and won't be practicing, I don't think he's going to be our starting kicker, to the, not surprise, but to the happiness of many. John Hull, of course, we know is in that room now, 5-star kicker transfer, along with 4-star kicker Nico Autumn and Ellie. So again, it's going to be hard for Tristan Alvano to win this battle if he's not ready to go tomorrow. So that was a very significant development. Now, Matt Rhule talked about a couple other things, specifically this defense. Of course, the whole narrative this offseason has been in regards to being a top 10 defense, being top 5. And he said, you know what we need to do to take that next step? We need to force turnovers. We did not do it at an elite level last year. We need guys like Tommy Hill to step up and get interceptions. We need guys like Ty Robinson and Nash to get to the quarterback and strip the football. That's been a huge emphasis all summer, stripping that football, get on the ground, force fumbles. So that's something he talked about once again extensively throughout his press conference. And then he talked about Dylan Raiola a little bit and how it's going to be important for him to, again, work very hard for that quarterback one job as a freshman. That usually when we're talking about freshmen and them getting on the field, they want to go slow. But when you're a guy like Dylan Raiola and you're going to be the quarterback, you need to go according to Matt Rhule's schedule, and that's very fast-paced. You got to get up to this offense quick. But he said that Dylan Raiola is doing enough, that he's doing a great job, and that he should be ready to go by week 1 and going to be better than okay. He's going to be phenomenal. So a couple other things I wanted to mention from this press conference before we get into the recruiting update. But Marcus Satterfield said that something that really caught Twitter on fire. He said that if you were going to turn the ball over, you will not play. Simple as that. And a lot of people said, oh my gosh, we're being more strict offensively, that, a lot of these guys are going to get benched. Listen, I think that was a huge overreaction. Like, this is a thing that we hear every single year from coaching staffs. They say, don't turn the ball over, you're not going to play, right? Scott Frost said that, Mike Riley said that. It's just a common term. It's really just coach speak. But a lot of people were running with that, saying, oh my gosh, we're being a lot more harsh this year, that we're going to be benching a lot of guys. That's not the case. A couple other things that they talked about. The offensive line is the deepest it's been in a very long time for Nebraska. Of course, that was something that we knew and we've talked about all offseason long. The wide receiver battle is going to be legit. Guys like Isaiah Nayor, Malika Coleman, Jalen Lloyd, they're going to have to fight for reps. Of course, Banks should be that number 1 guy. So those are the main things I took away from the press conference. A couple other things there, nothing really too important. Of course, there is going to be an open practice this Saturday. I will not be in attendance, not in Nebraska currently, as you can tell, but I will have multiple people who are in attendance, and we'll recap that on the channel that night. So don't worry about that. But of course, a lot of good stuff happening around fall practice. We're going to have a lot of updates coming to the channel, all the positional battles, everything. But let's get into the recruiting update, specifically around David Sanders first, then we'll get to Michael Terry. Actually, you know what? Let's start off with Michael Terry because that's the more pressing issue. Or I don't even want to say issue, but he's on campus right now. So Michael Terry, when I was talking with him earlier this week, he said he's getting on campus today. He's going to be a 1-day trip And a lot of people, I think, were a little bit harsh on the Michael Terry situation. They said, oh, he's just taking another visit to Nebraska just to get another visit in there, that he's actually not considering the Huskers. Now, when I talked with Michael Terry a couple of days ago, he said that's absolutely not the case, that he's still very much interested in the Huskers. But it's pretty clear and obvious that we're not that number one right now. This is our last chance to really get things up to that number one. We have to offer him a significant amount of money in the NIL factor. We've got to offer him playing time from the get-go. We've got to get him accustomed to this offense, continue to build that relationship. But when I was talking to Michael Terry, it still looks like we have a very good chance. Of course, his Oregon visit went very well. His Texas visit went well again. But Nebraska is that third team, and hopefully they can bump up to number one. But expect him to make an announcement before his season. One more thing here. David Sanders, of course, was at Nebraska, and a lot of people said, oh, he was only here for less than 24 hours, then he went over to Tennessee. That's not a good sign. They're dead wrong. Again, he only was at Tennessee for about 24 hours as well, and then he went back home. So again, he had a very tight schedule. It really didn't mean much that he was only at Nebraska for a short amount of time, that he just tried to meet with Dylan Raiola, meet with the coaching staff again, and from all accounts, he had a phenomenal visit with the Huskers. Now, do I love our odds still? It's up in the air. He had a good visit to Knoxville. He loves Tennessee. He loves that university. And one thing around that David Sanders situation that's interesting, it's really his mom's decision just as much as it is his. And his mom loves Tennessee. It should be noted that Tennessee is pretty close to his hometown of Charlotte as well. So that's another thing around that David Sanders situation. But we're in that top two right now. Again, Georgia, Ohio State, they're not out of it, but I still think our odds are decent. And a lot of people are saying, oh, he's silently committed to Tennessee. That's not the truth. If he was silently committed there, he would have already made it official. There's still 3 weeks till he commits. That's a long time away. I don't think he's decided at all. So quick update there around those guys. Of course, Isaiah Mosey is another big storyline. He should be decommitting anytime this week. I mean, it looks like a done deal, folks. I'm not really going to get too much into that and what I've heard, but just know it's a done deal. It looks like he will be in Nebraska. Cornhusker, of course, we've seen all the crystal balls rolling in for him. Then Will Hawthorne should be committing this week. It's been a long recruiting process for Will Hawthorne, the number one player in Iowa, or number one linebacker in Iowa, but he will be committing likely to Nebraska this week as well. And other than that, man, recruiting is finally almost done for the summer, and then we can focus on football. I'm excited, man. This is the most excited I've been about a Nebraska football season probably since 2019. We're going to be good this year, folks. We're going to surprise a lot of people, and we're going to be in the mix to win a lot of football games. So some things I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing Dylan Raiola. Again, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of videos of him on Saturday, of him throwing the football. Definitely going to be interesting to see that in person. I'm not going to be there, but I'll see those videos for sure. It'll be interesting to watch that wide receiver battle that they were talking about. Of course, that linebacker battle, that DB battle. It's a lot of positional battles, but this is where it gets fun. All right, folks, quick little video talking about Nebraska fall practice and everything else that's been going on with the program. Again, I am out of office right now, as you can see, but again, we had to give you guys an update. So again, if you are new here, please subscribe to the channel. We are so close to 5,000. I just want to hit that as soon as possible ahead of the year. So I want to thank all of you guys for your support as always. And once again, please hit the like button and subscribe if you made it this far in the video. And go Big Red, go Matt Rhule, and see you in the next one.